They rolled their eyes when she prayed, until her coordinates called in the airstrike. She wasn't even on the flight manifest, just assigned as backup crew. "We've got better pilots," they said. But mid-flight, at 12,000 feet, the real pilot collapsed. Panic hit the cockpit. Then her voice cut through, calm, focused. She slid into the seat, took the controls, and brought the bird down steady and safe. No fanfare. No second chances. When the wheels touched the runway, the silence was louder than applause. And the pilot they never trusted to take off? She was the one who brought everyone home. From which part of the world are you watching this video today? If you appreciate stories about faith under pressure, proving yourself when it matters most, and finding strength in unexpected places, consider subscribing for more content that celebrates those who persevere despite doubt and deliver when lives are on the line. The pre-dawn darkness of forward operating base horizon stretched across the rugged Afghan landscape as Staff Sergeant Maria Gonzalez completed her morning routine at 0515 hours. The aviation hangar buzzed with activity as flight crews prepared for the day's mission schedule, conducting pre-flight inspections and coordinating with mission planners for operations throughout the hostile territory surrounding their remote outpost. Gonzalez moved quietly through her equipment checks, understanding that her role as backup crew meant she would likely spend another day watching more experienced pilots conduct the missions she had trained extensively to perform herself. "Morning flight briefing, primary crews only," announced Captain Jake Morrison, the flight operations officer responsible for coordinating aviation missions throughout the region. His voice carried the authority of someone who managed complex operations involving multiple aircraft and high-stakes missions where pilot experience and reliability could determine success or failure. Gonzalez listened from her maintenance station as senior pilots gathered around mission planning displays to coordinate what promised to be a challenging day of close air support and reconnaissance operations in terrain where hostile forces routinely targeted coalition aircraft with sophisticated anti-aircraft weapons and coordinated ground fire. Today's primary mission involves close air support for ground forces operating in Sector 7 Alpha, Captain Morrison explained to the assembled flight crews. Intelligence indicates significant hostile activity, with potential surface-to-air missile threats requiring experienced pilots and careful tactical coordination. Major Patricia Kim, the squadron's most experienced pilot, studied the mission parameters while coordinating with other senior aviators about tactical approaches and contingency procedures. Weather conditions showed deteriorating visibility with possible storm systems developing throughout the operational area. "We'll need maximum pilot experience for safe mission completion." Gonzalez noted the mission complexity while understanding that her exclusion from primary flight crews meant she would remain on standby status despite having completed all required training and certification programs for combat aviation operations. Her role as backup crew reflected institutional assumptions about her capabilities rather than objective assessment of her flying skills and tactical knowledge. Backup crew assignments. Captain Morrison continued, consulting his flight roster. "Gonzalez, you're assigned as reserve crew for Hawk 27. Conduct standard aircraft preparation but remain on standby unless primary crew becomes unavailable." "Yes, sir," Gonzalez replied, accepting the assignment while feeling the familiar frustration of being consistently excluded from operational flying despite meeting all certification requirements and demonstrating competence during training evaluations. As primary flight crews departed for their pre-flight preparations, Gonzalez began comprehensive aircraft inspection and maintenance procedures for the helicopter she might be called upon to operate if primary crew became unavailable. Her methodical approach emphasized thoroughness despite uncertain operational requirements. "Another day on the bench," observed Technical Sergeant David Chun, the maintenance chief who supervised aircraft preparation and mechanical systems. "You've got more flight training than half the primary crews, but somehow, you're always the backup." Gonzalez appreciated Chin's recognition while understanding the institutional dynamics that kept experienced personnel in backup roles despite demonstrated competence. "Sergeant, my job is maintaining aircraft readiness regardless of flight assignment. When they need backup crew, the aircraft will be ready." Her professional response reflected years of adapting to institutional barriers while maintaining focus on mission readiness and technical excellence. Gonzalez had learned that proving competence required patience and persistent preparation even when operational opportunities remained limited. The morning progressed with routine aircraft maintenance and preparation as primary flight crews conducted mission briefings and final equipment checks. Gonzalez monitored radio traffic while completing systematic inspection procedures that ensured aircraft readiness for potential operational requirements. Hawk 27, pre-flight complete. She reported to flight operations after conducting comprehensive aircraft inspection and systems verification. Aircraft ready for operations. Backup crew standing by. The response came from Staff Sergeant Lisa Martinez in Flight Operations Coordination. Copy, Hawk 27. Maintain standby status. Primary crew briefing in progress. Gonzalez acknowledged the transmission while continuing aircraft preparation and monitoring operational communications for any changes in mission requirements or crew assignments that might affect her standby status. The morning routine was interrupted at 0847 hours when urgent communications began flooding flight operations about a developing crisis situation that required immediate aviation support for ground forces under attack in remote mountain terrain. All available aircraft, priority mission developing in Sector 4 Delta. Came the urgent announcement over the aviation communication system. Ground forces taking heavy fire, requesting immediate close air support and medical evacuation capabilities. Gonzalez monitored the emergency communications while understanding that crisis situations typically required experienced primary crews rather than backup personnel. Her aircraft was fully prepared for operations, but institutional preferences would likely assign the mission to more senior pilots. Hawk 27 crew to aircraft immediately. Captain Morrison announced over the hangar communication system. Emergency deployment for close air support mission. Launch preparation immediate. Gonzalez felt adrenaline surge as she realized her aircraft was being activated for emergency operations, though she assumed primary crew would conduct the actual flight operations while she provided ground support or backup assistance. Captain Steven Rodriguez appeared at the aircraft with obvious urgency, conducting rapid equipment checks while coordinating with flight operations about mission parameters and tactical requirements. His experience included over 200 combat missions in challenging terrain and hostile environments. Gonzalez, complete final pre-flight while I coordinate with tactical operations, Rodriguez instructed while reviewing mission briefing materials. This is high-priority close air support with significant threat levels. We launch in 15 minutes. Gonzalez completed final aircraft preparation with systematic efficiency, understanding that combat missions required precise attention to detail and comprehensive systems verification. Her training emphasized thorough preparation regardless of her expected role in mission execution. Aircraft systems verified, pre-flight complete, she reported to Rodriguez while conducting final equipment checks. Ready for mission launch. Rodriguez acknowledged her report while continuing coordination with tactical operations about target identification, friendly force locations, and engagement procedures for close air support in complex terrain with significant civilian considerations. The aircraft departed FOB Horizon at 0923 hours with Rodriguez as pilot in command and Gonzalez serving as backup crew responsible for navigation, communications, and systems monitoring during what promised to be a challenging mission in hostile territory. Hawk 27 airborne, proceeding to Sector 4 Delta for close air support operations. Rodriguez transmitted to flight operations while coordinating with ground forces about tactical situation and support requirements. The flight proceeded smoothly through mountain terrain as Rodriguez demonstrated the experienced piloting that had earned him assignment to high-priority missions, while Gonzalez monitored systems and maintained communication links with ground forces and supporting elements. Ground forces report taking effective fire from prepared positions. Came the tactical update as they approached the operational area. Multiple casualties reported, urgent air support required for suppression and medical evacuation. Rodriguez assessed the tactical situation while maneuvering the aircraft for optimal engagement positioning that would provide effective fire support, while minimizing exposure to hostile anti-aircraft weapons that intelligence had identified throughout the region. At 1034 hours, the mission situation changed catastrophically when Rodriguez suddenly collapsed in the pilot's seat. apparently suffering a medical emergency that left him unconscious and unable to control the aircraft at 12,000 feet altitude over hostile territory. Medical emergency in cockpit. Gonzalez transmitted immediately to flight operations while assessing Rodriguez's condition and aircraft status. Pilot unconscious, aircraft control compromised. Panic filled the cockpit as the aircraft began losing altitude and control while flying over terrain where crash landing would likely result in casualties and capture by hostile forces. The situation required immediate action to prevent catastrophic aircraft loss and crew casualties. Hawk 27, clarify aircraft status, came the urgent response from flight operations. Do you require emergency assistance? Gonzalez made the critical decision that would test every aspect of her training and challenge institutional assumptions about her capabilities. Without hesitation, she moved into the pilot's seat and assumed control of the aircraft while continuing to monitor Rodriguez's medical condition. Hawk 27, backup crew assuming aircraft control. She transmitted with calm professionalism despite the crisis situation. Pilot incapacitated, continuing mission under backup crew control. Her voice cut through the panic and confusion with steady confidence that reflected extensive training and mental preparation for exactly this type of emergency situation. Gonzalez had spent years preparing for operational opportunities despite institutional barriers that limited her flight assignments. Negative, Hawk 27. Came the immediate response from Captain Morrison. Return to base immediately for medical evacuation and crew replacement. Do not attempt to continue mission operations. Gonzalez assessed the tactical situation while maintaining aircraft control and monitoring Rodriguez's condition. Ground forces were under heavy attack and required immediate air support that no other aircraft could provide within the critical time window necessary for effective intervention. Flight operations. Ground forces require immediate support. Gonzalez responded while maneuvering the aircraft into attack position. No other aircraft available within engagement window. Continuing close air support operations under backup crew control. Her decision to continue the mission despite orders to return to base reflected understanding that mission success and ground force survival required immediate action rather than extended coordination procedures that could result in preventable casualties. Hawk 27, you are not authorized for combat operations. Captain Morrison transmitted with obvious concern about liability and operational procedures. Return to base immediately for proper crew assignment. Gonzalez ignored the recall order while coordinating with ground forces about target identification and engagement procedures. Her extensive training and certification for combat operations provided the technical competence necessary for mission success, regardless of institutional reluctance to recognize her capabilities. Ground units. This is Hawk 27. She transmitted to the embattled forces below. Ready for close air support. Provide target coordinates and friendly force locations. The response from ground forces was immediate and desperate. Hawk 27. We have hostile positions at coordinates 34.2156 degrees north, 69.1783 degrees east. Friendly forces marked with infrared strobes. Urgent fire support required. Gonzalez processed the tactical information while positioning the aircraft for effective engagement that would neutralize hostile positions while avoiding friendly force casualties. Her piloting demonstrated precision and tactical awareness that exceeded expectations for backup crew operations. Target identified. Beginning engagement run. She announced while initiating attack procedures that required sophisticated coordination of aircraft maneuvering, target acquisition, and weapons systems operation under combat conditions. The close air support engagement continued for 45 minutes as Gonzalez provided precise fire support that enabled ground forces to neutralize hostile positions and evacuate casualties while maintaining aircraft control despite challenging weather conditions and anti-aircraft threats. Excellent fire support, Hawk 27. Came the grateful transmission from ground forces. Hostile positions neutralized. Friendly casualties evacuated. Outstanding pilot performance under combat conditions. Gonzalez felt pride in mission success while understanding that her unauthorized continuation of combat operations despite recall orders would likely result in disciplinary action regardless of tactical effectiveness and life-saving results. Ground forces secure. Mission complete. She transmitted to flight operations while beginning return flight to base with Rodriguez still unconscious but stable. Returning to base for medical evacuation. The return flight required careful navigation through deteriorating weather conditions while monitoring Rodriguez's medical status and coordinating with base medical personnel for emergency treatment upon landing. Hawk 27, medical team standing by for emergency landing. Came the transmission from flight operations. Runway cleared for immediate approach. Gonzalez executed a textbook landing despite challenging weather conditions and the stress of managing both aircraft operations and medical emergency situations. Her piloting demonstrated competence that challenged institutional assumptions about backup crew capabilities. Medical emergency on deck. She announced as ground personnel rushed to provide emergency medical treatment for Rodriguez, while aircraft maintenance teams conducted post-flight inspection procedures. Rodriguez was transported immediately to medical facilities where treatment revealed a severe allergic reaction that had caused his unconsciousness. His condition stabilized under medical care, but the incident had demonstrated the critical importance of backup crew readiness for emergency situations. Outstanding aircraft handling under emergency conditions, observed Technical Sergeant Chun as he reviewed post-flight inspection results. Your piloting probably saved both crew lives and mission success. Gonzalez appreciated the recognition while preparing for inevitable discussions about her decision to continue combat operations despite recall orders and institutional procedures that typically required senior pilot authorization for mission continuation. Gonzalez, report to flight operations immediately. Captain Morrison announced over the hangar communication system. Mission debrief required. The post-mission debriefing revealed complex institutional tensions between operational effectiveness and procedural compliance. Gonzalez's mission success had saved ground force lives while violating established protocols about backup crew operational authority. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez, your flying was exemplary, Captain Morrison acknowledged during the debriefing session. But your decision to continue combat operations despite recall orders raises serious questions about command authority and operational procedures. Gonzalez presented her tactical assessment while emphasizing mission requirements and ground force safety considerations. Sir, ground forces required immediate support that no other aircraft could provide within the critical engagement window. Mission success required continuing operations despite procedural considerations. Your tactical judgment proved correct, Major Kim observed. But military effectiveness requires following command procedures even during crisis situations. Individual initiative must balance mission requirements with institutional authority. The discussion continued for over 2 hours as senior officers evaluated Gonzalez's performance against institutional procedures and operational effectiveness standards. Her technical competence was undeniable, but her procedural compliance remained questionable. According to traditional command structures, Gonzalez, your piloting skills clearly exceed backup crew expectations, Captain Morrison concluded. But your operational decision-making requires alignment with command authority rather than individual tactical assessment. Gonzalez felt both pride in mission success and concern about institutional resistance to recognizing capability-based assignments rather than traditional seniority systems. Sir, I understand procedural requirements, but mission effectiveness sometimes requires adapting procedures to operational circumstances. The conversation reflected broader institutional challenges about balancing individual competence with established command procedures, particularly when emergency situations required rapid response that exceeded normal authorization processes. Over the following days, Gonzalez found herself at the center of discussions about pilot assignment procedures and emergency response protocols as senior leadership evaluated her performance against institutional standards and operational requirements. Gonzalez, I want to discuss your aviation career development, Major Kim said during a private meeting in her office. Your flight performance exceeded all expectations, but your procedural compliance requires institutional evaluation. Gonzalez considered the Major's observation carefully. Ma'am, aviation operations require balancing technical competence with mission effectiveness. Emergency situations sometimes demand responses that exceed normal procedural parameters. I'm recommending you for advanced pilot training and assignment to primary flight status. Your demonstrated capabilities are too valuable to limit to backup crew duties alone. The recommendation represented both recognition of her capabilities and opportunity for expanded aviation responsibilities, but Gonzalez felt committed to ensuring that backup crew throughout the military received recognition for their potential operational contributions. Ma'am, I appreciate the opportunity, but I'd like to request assignment to develop enhanced training programs for backup aviation personnel. The competence that proved effective during emergency operations could benefit other crew members facing similar operational challenges. Major Kim smiled at Gonzalez's response. That's exactly the kind of thinking that makes you valuable, Gonzalez. You understand that individual success should contribute to broader institutional capability rather than just personal advancement. The solution involved Gonzalez accepting expanded responsibilities that combined primary pilot duties with development of enhanced backup crew training programs. Her emergency flight success became the foundation for improved aviation readiness throughout the military aviation community. The fundamental principle, Gonzalez explained to new aviation personnel during training sessions, is that effective backup crew preparation requires understanding complete aircraft operations rather than just supporting primary pilot functions. Her training emphasized the comprehensive skills and emergency preparedness that had made her emergency flight so effective. Students learned complete aviation procedures, emergency response protocols, and mission continuation capabilities that enabled backup crew to assume operational responsibilities during crisis situations. Remember, she continued during training sessions, your backup crew mission requires complete readiness to assume primary pilot responsibilities during emergency situations. Professional aviation preparation protects mission success through individual excellence. The program Gonzalez developed became a model for backup crew training throughout the military aviation community. Her methods combined traditional support procedures with comprehensive pilot education that enabled backup personnel to provide emergency operational capabilities during crisis situations. Several months later, as Gonzalez prepared for assignment to advanced pilot school while maintaining her backup crew training responsibilities, she reflected on how dramatically her understanding of military aviation had evolved. The staff sergeant who had been consistently assigned backup duties had become a recognized expert whose methods were influencing aviation procedures throughout the military. Technical Sergeant Chun observed during one of their regular maintenance coordination meetings, you've demonstrated that aviation effectiveness depends on comprehensive crew preparation rather than traditional seniority-based assignment systems. Gonzalez nodded, understanding that her experience represented broader principles about aviation professionalism and operational readiness. Sergeant, I think the key is recognizing that every crew position contributes to mission success when personnel approach their training with professional excellence and comprehensive preparation. The transformation of backup crew procedures at FOB Horizon became a model studied throughout military aviation organizations worldwide. Gonzalez's innovations in emergency response and comprehensive crew training were incorporated into standard programs at installations facing similar operational challenges across multiple theaters. What began as one soldier's emergency response during crisis operations has evolved into a systematic approach to enhancing aviation crew effectiveness, observed Brigadier General Patricia Foster during a comprehensive review of aviation training programs 6 months after Gonzalez's breakthrough. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez's methods have fundamentally changed how we approach backup crew training and emergency preparedness. The institutional impact of Gonzalez's innovations extended far beyond FOB Horizon. Military aviation schools incorporated her emergency response methods into curricula for future aviation personnel, emphasizing the importance of comprehensive preparation and professional excellence regardless of primary assignment or perceived crew status. Major Kim, who had witnessed Gonzalez's transformation from backup crew to aviation expert, reflected on the broader implications during a staff meeting with senior leadership. The lesson extends beyond improved backup crew procedures. It demonstrates the critical importance of comprehensive training and capability-based assignments rather than traditional seniority systems. The institutional changes that followed Gonzalez's success represented a fundamental shift in how military organizations approached aviation crew training and assignment procedures. Traditional military aviation emphasized seniority-based advancement and primary crew privileges, but Gonzalez's example demonstrated the operational value of comprehensive preparation and merit-based opportunities. We almost missed recognizing her aviation potential because we focused on traditional assignment procedures rather than capability development, Major Kim acknowledged during discussions about aviation personnel development. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez's piloting capabilities were always present. We just needed to provide training opportunities and operational recognition for them to contribute to institutional success. The conversation reflected growing institutional awareness that military aviation effectiveness depended on recognizing professional potential among all crew members, not just those assigned primary pilot status through traditional advancement procedures. Gonzalez's success challenged assumptions about capability development and operational assignment systems. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Army Aviation School, Gonzalez found herself at the center of curriculum development that would influence backup crew training for years to come. Her practical experience in emergency operations and comprehensive pilot preparation provided real-world validation for theoretical concepts that students struggled to understand without operational context. The difference between traditional backup crew duties and comprehensive aviation effectiveness, she explained to a class of advanced students, is understanding complete aircraft operations rather than just supporting primary pilot functions. Her teaching methodology emphasized practical aviation application over purely support-focused education, using case studies from her emergency flight experience to illustrate principles of aircraft control, mission continuation, and emergency response. Students learned not just backup procedures, but complete piloting skills that could enhance their contribution to mission success. Backup crew responsibility is fundamentally about providing complete aviation capabilities rather than just supporting primary pilot operations, Gonzalez continued during one particularly intensive training session. Comprehensive preparation provides operational advantages, but emergency training determines how effectively you can contribute to mission success during crisis situations. The distinction between traditional backup duties and comprehensive aviation effectiveness became a central theme in the curriculum Gonzalez helped develop. Students learned that effective backup crew performance required not just support competence, but complete aviation capabilities that could contribute operational success during emergency situations. Captain Jennifer Martinez, who supervised Gonzalez's aviation teaching assignments, noted the exceptional quality of her comprehensive instruction and its significant impact on student aviation performance. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez's students consistently demonstrate superior emergency capabilities compared to previous backup crew classes. She's teaching them complete aviation skills while maintaining support excellence. The documented success of Gonzalez's comprehensive teaching methods attracted attention from military education specialists who were developing training programs for other aviation support roles. Her emphasis on complete preparation provided a model that could be adapted for various military aviation specialties requiring both support competence and emergency operational capabilities. The comprehensive preparation principle applies beyond backup crew training, observed Major David Rodriguez, who led aviation development programs for the entire military aviation school. Any military aviation specialty can benefit from the kind of complete preparation that Staff Sergeant Gonzalez demonstrated during her emergency operations. The discussion reflected broader institutional interest in developing military aviation professionals who could contribute operationally regardless of their primary assignment or traditional role expectations. Gonzalez's example suggested that such comprehensive capabilities could be developed through proper training that integrated complete aviation education with support instruction. 10 months into her assignment at aviation school, Gonzalez received news that would test her growing expertise in entirely new operational circumstances. The Department of Defense was establishing a specialized aviation unit focused on emergency operations in complex environments, and her name had been recommended for a leadership position. This assignment would involve developing emergency aviation capabilities for crew supporting special operations in contested areas. explained Lieutenant Colonel Sarah Davidson during Gonzalez's comprehensive briefing about the opportunity. You'd be working with our most challenging emergency requirements and most complex operational coordination challenges. Gonzalez considered the implications carefully. The assignment represented both recognition of her specialized expertise and an opportunity to apply her comprehensive methods in the most demanding aviation circumstances possible. But it also meant leaving the teaching position where she was training the next generation of comprehensively prepared aviation personnel. Ma'am, I'm honored by the opportunity, but I want to ensure my current training responsibilities are properly transitioned. The comprehensive programs we've developed are just beginning to demonstrate their potential impact on aviation personnel effectiveness. Lieutenant Colonel Davidson smiled at Gonzalez's response. That's exactly the kind of thinking that makes you valuable for this assignment. You understand that individual aviation success should contribute to broader institutional comprehensive capability rather than just personal career advancement. The detailed conversation continued as Davidson explained the comprehensive scope and operational requirements of the specialized position. The advanced unit would work with emergency challenges and operational coordination requirements that push the boundaries of current aviation capabilities, requiring exactly the kind of innovative comprehensive thinking that Gonzalez had demonstrated throughout her career. Your experience with practical emergency operations and your ability to train others in comprehensive thinking make you an ideal candidate for aviation leadership, Davidson explained. We need someone who can bridge the gap between traditional aviation procedures and emergency operational effectiveness. Gonzalez accepted the challenging assignment with the understanding that she would complete her current teaching commitments while beginning comprehensive preparation for the specialized unit. The transition period would allow her to ensure continuity in the comprehensive training programs while developing the advanced expertise required for her expanded aviation responsibilities. The announcement of Gonzalez's selection for the specialized emergency unit created significant interest throughout the aviation community. Her rapid progression from backup crew to advanced emergency assignments represented a new model for aviation career development that emphasized comprehensive capability over traditional advancement criteria. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez's career trajectory demonstrates that aviation excellence can emerge from any crew assignment if properly recognized and developed, observed Colonel Robert Kim during discussions about aviation talent identification. Her success challenges us to look for comprehensive potential in aviation positions we might not have considered for advanced operational applications. The conversation reflected growing institutional awareness that traditional aviation career management might miss valuable comprehensive capabilities that could develop in backup crew assignments. Gonzalez's example suggested the need for more flexible approaches to identifying and developing military aviation talent across all crew roles. As Gonzalez prepared for her transition to the specialized emergency unit, she reflected thoughtfully on the remarkable journey that had brought her from backup crew assignment to the forefront of military emergency aviation innovation. The comprehensive skills she had developed through dedicated aviation training and emergency awareness had opened professional opportunities she could never have imagined when she first accepted backup crew duties. The key insight, she wrote in her comprehensive final report from aviation school, is that military effectiveness depends on aviation personnel who understand how their comprehensive capabilities contribute to operational success. Excellence emerges when people care enough about mission accomplishment to develop comprehensive capabilities beyond their basic assignment requirements. Her profound words would be quoted extensively in military aviation development programs for years to come, serving as inspiration for crew members who might be tempted to view backup assignments as less important than primary positions rather than opportunities for comprehensive contribution to operational mission success. The specialized emergency unit that Gonzalez joined represented the cutting edge of military aviation capability, combining advanced emergency methods with innovative comprehensive frameworks to address the most challenging operational requirements. Her assignment involved developing comprehensive concepts that would influence how special operations forces approached aviation support in hostile environments. Your background in practical emergency operations provides exactly the kind of operational foundation we need, explained Colonel Patricia Wells, who commanded the specialized unit. Too often, emergency aviation gets developed without sufficient understanding of how it will be used in actual operational circumstances. Gonzalez's first assignment involved evaluating aviation emergency frameworks that promised revolutionary improvements in operational capability. Her responsibility was determining whether theoretical advantages would translate into practical operational benefits that could enhance mission effectiveness. The emergency methods are sophisticated, she reported after comprehensive evaluation, but they require crew members who understand both traditional procedures and emergency coordination. The most advanced aviation techniques are only as effective as the comprehensive understanding applied to their implementation. Her assessment led to modifications in both the emergency methods and the training programs for crew members. The specialized unit learned that aviation advancement required corresponding development in comprehensive capabilities to achieve maximum operational effectiveness. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez's evaluation process has become our standard methodology, Colonel Wells observed during a progress review. She understands that aviation emergency effectiveness results from optimizing the interaction between traditional expertise and comprehensive coordination capabilities. The success of Gonzalez's approach to emergency evaluation attracted attention from research and development organizations throughout the military. Her methods for assessing comprehensive effectiveness provided a model that could be applied to various aviation systems under development across multiple operational domains. Months later, as the specialized unit prepared for its first operational deployment, Gonzalez found herself training teams that would use the comprehensive methods and emergency frameworks she had helped develop. The circular nature of her career, from backup crew to emergency pilot to teacher to developer to trainer, reflected the interconnected nature of military aviation development. Remember, she told the teams during their final training exercise, the most sophisticated aviation emergency methods cannot replace comprehensive thinking and operational awareness. Your traditional expertise provides capabilities, but your comprehensive judgment determines how effectively those capabilities serve the mission. The deployment would test both the advanced emergency systems and the training methods that Gonzalez had developed. Success would validate her approach to combining traditional aviation with comprehensive coordination, while failure would require fundamental reassessment of the unit's capabilities. This is the ultimate test, Colonel Wells observed as the teams prepared for deployment. We'll discover whether our combination of advanced aviation methods and enhanced comprehensive training produces the operational advantages we've been seeking. The deployment results exceeded all expectations. The teams successfully managed emergency situations and coordinated comprehensive operations that would have been impossible to address using traditional methods. Their success validated both the emergency development process and the training methodology that Gonzalez had created. The deployment demonstrated that aviation advancement and comprehensive development must proceed together, Gonzalez wrote in her comprehensive after-action report. Neither alone produces maximum effectiveness, but together they create comprehensive capabilities that surpass what either could achieve independently. Her conclusions influenced military aviation development programs for years to come, establishing principles that guided the integration of traditional aviation with comprehensive coordination across multiple domains of military operations. The success of the specialized unit's operational deployment created unprecedented demand for similar comprehensive capabilities throughout the military aviation community. Gonzalez found herself at the center of expansion efforts that would scale her methods across multiple theaters of operation and various types of complex aviation missions. What we've accomplished here needs to be replicated wherever our forces operate in complex operational environments, observed General Foster during a comprehensive briefing about the unit's remarkable success. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez's approach to combining traditional aviation with comprehensive coordination provides a model that could revolutionize our aviation capabilities across all operational domains. During this period of institutional recognition and expanded influence, an unexpected connection emerged that would provide additional validation for Gonzalez's journey from dismissed backup crew to comprehensive aviation leader. The ground forces she had supported during her unauthorized emergency mission had included military chaplains who had witnessed her brief moment of prayer before assuming aircraft control during the crisis. Staff Sergeant Gonzalez's brief prayer before taking control of the aircraft during our emergency was remarkable, testified Chaplain Major Robert Chen during a ceremony recognizing exceptional service. While others panicked, she found strength and faith that enabled her to perform extraordinary aviation under impossible circumstances. The chaplain's testimony revealed that Gonzalez's moment of prayer, which some crew members had initially dismissed or criticized, had actually provided the mental preparation and spiritual strength necessary for her exceptional performance during the emergency situation. What some perceived as weakness was actually the source of her strength, Chaplain Chen continued. Her faith provided the calm confidence necessary for successful emergency aviation when traditional training alone might not have been sufficient. The recognition of Gonzalez's faith as a source of professional strength rather than institutional liability provided additional validation for her comprehensive approach to aviation service that integrated personal beliefs with technical competence and operational effectiveness. Faith and professional excellence are not opposing forces, Gonzalez explained during discussions about the relationship between personal beliefs and military service. My faith provides the strength and perspective necessary for maintaining professional performance under extreme stress and uncertainty. Her example demonstrated that personal faith could enhance rather than compromise military effectiveness when properly integrated with professional training and institutional requirements. The brief prayer that others had dismissed had actually enabled her exceptional performance during crisis operations. As Master Sergeant Maria Gonzalez stood before the assembled military leadership receiving recognition for her transformative contributions to aviation emergency operations and comprehensive crew development, she reflected on the extraordinary journey that had begun with backup crew assignment and moments of quiet prayer. What you've accomplished, General Foster said during the formal ceremony, demonstrates that aviation excellence can emerge from any crew assignment when individuals understand how their comprehensive capabilities contribute to operational mission success. You've shown that traditional aviation combined with personal strength can transform routine duties into critical operational advantages. Gonzalez's response captured the essence of her experience and the lessons it provided for military aviation service. General, my success resulted from opportunities to serve comprehensively and institutional support for combining traditional expertise with personal strength and operational coordination requirements. Aviation excellence matters, but it reaches its full potential when combined with comprehensive training, personal faith, and operational mission focus. Her inspiring story would continue to influence future generations of military aviation professionals, demonstrating that every crew assignment offered opportunities for comprehensive contribution and operational impact. The backup crew position where her journey began remained a powerful symbol of the potential that existed in every military aviation specialty for those who understood how their comprehensive capabilities could contribute to operational mission success. Master Sergeant Maria Gonzalez had conclusively proved that traditional aviation expertise, combined with comprehensive coordination and personal faith, could transform any military assignment into critical operational capability. Her enduring legacy would live on in the advanced comprehensive training programs she developed, the aviation professionals she inspired, and the fundamental understanding that military effectiveness depended on individuals who approached every aviation responsibility with comprehensive awareness, personal strength, and unwavering commitment to operational mission accomplishment.